At 7:41, welcome back to Acadiana's Morning News. Partly cloudy outside. It's going to be a little bit drier than it was over the weekend. And Jaci Russo, our Monday morning favorite, joining us in studio, who I'm sure is thrilled with the way the weekend has played out as far as the Cajuns go.
Well, has there been sports this weekend? What?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw any of the game because you were rubbing elbows with,
Me and the governor.
You and the governor, Christie, in town to see his son who plays for Princeton. Here, really cool.
It was actually kind of cool.
It was funny because I was a little bit out of the loop and unplugged this weekend, which is okay. I was completely plugged into sports, but not with like the rest of social media and everything. And I happened to ask Stevie P because we talked about last week Christie's son. He's probably going to be here. His son plays, and so I just posed the question like, so were there any Christie sightings? Bernie says yes, and let me give you one guess who took a picture with her. So anyway. Pretty cool, though.
It was very cool, actually. My daughter Jordan and I were waiting to go in, and, with all the delays, I had been in New Orleans watching Jackson play Showcase.
Okay.
And so I left that game and drove here for this game. And so Jordan and I got there, and I had lost track of what time things were going to start because it had changed so much.
Yes.
So we got there about 45 minutes early, accidentally. And so we were standing right out front talking to Monique Boulay, who is Governor Kathleen Blanco's daughter. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about the governor arriving and discussing that when a guy walks up and says, the motorcade's coming, I need you all to move. And so Monique and I kind of had a laugh about it. And sure enough, lo and behold, up pulls the motorcade. I said, I'm taking a picture. Well, my 15-year-old's horrified.
Yes.
You will not embarrass me. You will not make a scene, whatever you do. I said, all right, she cannot be trusted to take a picture. Monique, will you? She's like, absolutely. Yeah. So he pulls out and she starts snapping. And then Christie says, would you like to take a picture? I said, I would love to. So we turn and pose. I got a really good one that I posted on Facebook. And then he and I chatted for a few minutes. He was so friendly.
That's exactly what I've heard.
And so glad to be here and just excited and embracing the culture and the food. And he sat with the people. Although I talked to some of the people with UL who said they had made special arrangements with the New Jersey State Police and they were prepared to, provide him all the dignitary specialties, whether it was with the Cajun Cooking Club or in the press booth. And no, he wasn't having any of it. He sat with the fans in the middle of the visitor section and took the UL Cajun fan spirit in stride and was a really good sport about it. And he was a great guy.
That's awesome. That's really cool. To hear those kind of stories, I knew that about Christie in the times that he would come to the network. And there are some that are in and out. Right. Don't talk to me until I'm being interviewed. And when I'm done, let's be finished.
Right. Don't make eye contact and bring me green M&Ms.
Yes. Yeah, and I'll tell you, he was a get there 30 minutes early. Talk to the producers for 30 minutes after. He was just a really nice guy, so I'm glad to hear that.
No, it was genuine and just. I've talked to obviously a lot of VIPs, especially when I lived in LA, and he was just a guy. He was just a regular guy, and he was so happy to be here.
And I'm sure and I get the impression. I bet you he hated the motorcade more than anything. That it was a deal. That
right.
They kind of, but that's what you got to do.
You got to do it, but he couldn't wait to get out of it and be with the people, and he was great. Cool. It was really funny because at the end of the game, Monique got to take a picture of her son with him before they left. So we kind of bookended the photographs with him in the game.
That's great. Well, cool. Well, and another thing, a little bit of social media I did yesterday. There's this really cool story about a flight that was diverted to Midland, Texas. It was an American Airlines flight.
Okay.
Was diverted to Midland, Texas. Well, apparently they either have a slim staff or maybe one gate or something. Well, so Southwest, not the same airline, ordered all this food, pizzas and everything to put it there. And it said, you may not be flying with us, but you still have a pizza our heart.
Oh. Ba-dum-bum.
Tell me that. And everywhere on social, and people sharing it all over the places. I said, that's so great. It's so smart.
It is.
There's been a recent hubbub about American and their food. Mm-hmm. They've made changes to what flights they serve anything on. And so I think they were probably just responding,
Wow.
Because, that's how Southwest goes. But
no,
anyway,
it was very smart.
I thought it was interesting.
Southwest, I wish really flew through here because there's a big problem in the Lafayette airport on Saturday that was all over social media.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of angry, frustrated, upset people who stood in a TSA line for almost 2 hours watching their flight board and last call for all these passengers, and they're like, hey, we're right here in this line.
And by the way, you could see us from the gate.
It's a glass wall.
It's a glass wall, and it's like a living room.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It's a problem that everyone else isn't taking care of their customers the way Southwest is.
Really good thing. So what's going on today? BrandBuzz, Razor Branding Blog.
Sure.
.com.
Yep. We're
today.
talking about a little bit of brand personality.
Awesome.
And
you got to find yours.
That's right. Well, you have to have a story. You have to be able to tell people who you are and what you're about. Because if you're just another XYZ company, then there's no reason to choose you. And so it's really about figuring out your personality. And your personality, more often than not, is based around your people. Because your people are what makes your company. No matter if it's a product or a service, no matter what, where you're located, it is truly the people who are the front line of your company. So make sure that they're all on the same page and that they buy into who you are and what you're about. Because if you're Southwest, right, and you've positioned yourself as this service company and you're all about serving the people and you've got some people on the front line who don't feel servicey, then they're going to break the brand.
And a lot of times, you're hoping, as a company, you're hoping to have one interaction with a customer.
Right.
And then once you have that, you want them to be repeat customers. Well, I'll tell you, there have been a lot of businesses that I've gone to one time and said, it was all right, but the person was rude.
Right.
I'm just going to find someone else the next time. Not whenever it just takes a little bit, especially in the South. We demand a lot more caressing and, yes, man, I'll tell you, my mom is one person that she never feels like, oh, why do you call me ma'am because I'm old? No, if someone calls her yes, ma'am, that stands out to her. It's respectful,
respectful.
And you just have to have, like you said, your people in your front line have the same sort of values so that they can pass it along to.
Right. Well, it's about really determining what those values, the tone. It needs to be decided. It needs to be written down. Everybody needs to know it. I should be able to walk into your company, into your office, and ask 5 people and get the same answer 5 times about who you are and what you represent. And if you don't know that, or you think it's just that hokey marketing stuff, trust me, it matters. Take the time out to set it up right, because if you don't, somebody else is going to define you.
And I think, if you have a small business, you might have this theory in your mind that things will just take care of themselves, and your employees know they're on the same page as you. But I always think, as a manager, it's always good to just have a refresher.
Right.
Maybe it's every 6 months, maybe it's every quarter, just to say, here's where we are, this is what we're doing. I know of a small business here in Acadiana that was retraining staff because over a couple of phone calls that they heard, when they were answering the phone, they were using the wrong business name.
Ooh.
They weren't calling it by the right thing.
Ooh.
And so it was no, we're this, not that.
Right.
No, we're not. No, that's almost it, but it's this. And so little things like that. I mean, I think a reference sheet,
Yes.
Or if you're a company that, you have a few different people, I love just the check-in email. Let me just reinforce the expectations. Here's where they are.
And you can't assume that everybody knows. Because, yes, they're there, 24/7. They're getting a paycheck from you, but they've got a lot of else stuff going on in their life.
Yeah.
So you need to find out. And then if the people inside your building don't know, I can guarantee you the people outside don't know, because they have a whole lot of other things going on, and you are not their top priority.
Yep. Well, the Cajuns play again today at 1.
Yes.
You can hear it on the radio at ESPN 1420, and then if a second game is needed today at 7.
Don't even.
Which I'll tell you this, I'm completely against the way the Dallas Morning News did it one time and published a parade victory schedule the morning of the final game.
No.
Full
You can't
page
do that.
of a map. I'm totally against that. So I'm going to say whatever happens.
Absolutely.
If we have to have a game, at 7 o'clock, it'll be on KPEL tonight, so you can listen here.
Well, I have to say I'm really sad that we're not playing the Bearcats today.
Yeah.
I think Sam Houston's a great team, and I fully expected them to take Arizona yesterday, and they came so close. I mean, one run. That's the final that I think every Cajuns fan was looking for, because we love Coach Deggs, and it would have been great to go head-to-head with him for this.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on it all. If we have to go to that 7 o'clock game, we're going to send someone just to check on your heart rate.
It's gonna. Well, I have to say, I'm not going to be in town for the 1 o'clock game. I have meetings at our New Orleans office all day today, so I'm going to be listening to Jay Walker on Radio Pup and watching it on ESPN. So it's a win-win for me as long as we win.
It's a win-win as long as we win.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah,
Change the conversation with that.
That's the way it works.
I like it.
And speaking of changing the conversation, we got a little webinar coming up. So if companies who struggle with social media and how to do it, sign up for that webinar. It's free, less than 30 minutes to get in and out and get a whole lot of knowledge about what you should be doing on social media with your company.
I popped into your last one, which was on not dynamics, not something X.
Psychographics?
Psychographics. It was close.
It was something icky?
It was right there, something X. And when I tell you, it's an extended version of the same conversation we have here on KPEL. Very laid back, very informative, so catch up on those. We'll put a link to it on our website, KPEL965.com.
Thanks.
Jaci Russo, thanks for joining us, as always, on a Monday morning at 7:50 at KPEL.